half an hour or so before the game starts, but that's not convenient for me today, so I thought I'd go live now, just around about 6 o'clock. And maybe, if you're lucky, maybe I'll do a whole hour live now because that is possible. So just wait a second until people come into the chat, and hopefully there'll be lots of people chit chatting away, uh, joining in with the conversation on the chat. Somebody's already watching. Hello. Yeah, so obviously the big talking point today is the pay-per-view stuff and whether or not people are going to pay the £15 to watch the match tonight. Personally, I think it's extortionate. I do think that lots of people will pay for it. Hello to Jason and to Mike and to Dan, who are already in the chat below. Thank you very much. If you pop a like on the stream as well to get it higher up the ratings and people will see it. Yeah, I think quite a lot of people are going to be watching it on illegal streams, or if we call them, how can we say so that it's not obvious that we were watching it in illegal ways? Yes, we're using other methods to watch it. I can kind of there is an argument, there is a genuine argument to say that Wolves fans or all football fans don't deserve every game to be live on television. They're not usually. These are unprecedented circumstances, which I think has been mentioned a few times at the moment. But whether or not this is whether or not it's fair is a different question, because I can see where BT are coming from. They're sort of having to employ extra people to do these extra games. But yeah, as Dan Evans says there, it's not a blockbuster game. I can't see anyone wanting to pay 15 quid for it. I know that I think it was Albion against Burnley. I think they had 73 people, or 73 sets of 15 quid for that 0-0 draw last week, which is crazy really to think that BT, a huge, or whether it was 15 quid for a game like that, 73 people paying for it. If it had been £5, you can imagine that a lot more people would have paid the extra for it, because yeah, it isn't a blockbuster game. These games are not huge. They're not at the top of the bill for everybody, and they, but they sort of feel obliged that they have these games on television because people can't go to them. So, yes, £15.95 is too much to pay at the moment, says Jason. Couldn't agree more. I'm just going to share the link to this at the minute. Forgive me if you hear me echoing. There we go. Gosh, my hair looks terrible at the minute. BS, I think it's going to be an interesting game today. I think that, from what I understand, Wolves are not very good at the minute. Wolves are very negative in the way that they approach games at the minute, and they sit off teams and they wait for them to hit them. Palace seem very much the same. We've had a couple of games with Palace recently where they have been, well, they've had the better of us. We've drawn. Did we draw both the games last year? No, we beat them, didn't we, last year at Molineux, and drew. Was it last September? End of last September, back at Sellers Park, when Jota scored right at the very end. It was a really poor game. It was a really weak start to the season, but it was a really key goal. Yes, Mike, you're absolutely correct. Podence's first goal was in the Palace game at Molineux last year. They beat us in there on New Year's Day or something like that, or the day after New Year's Day in 2019. Yeah, a header from Podence, all 5'5" of him. Previewing the game live on YouTube. £14.95 entrance, please. I saw there's a couple of comments there. I saw Shiv was on. Uh, we all prepared for a 90-minute contest between two teams sitting back. Yeah, it's going to be a classic tonight, isn't it? It's going to be an absolute snore fest. Thought you'd do your hair for a live stream. I have. I have. Uh, this is. I did it earlier on. It just seems to have gone a bit wild at the minute. Yes, two teams that sit back. It's not going to be the best of the games, is it? Which charity do you suggest I donate to while streaming it? It says Higo Bear. I don't know. I did see that the Wolves Parliament, Wolves fan Parliament, they've suggested one, haven't they? They've got behind one, and perhaps I'll tweet that out. It could be that way, but hoping for some class from Podence and Neto. Depends on the lineup, I suppose. Hope that Marcel or Al-Ait Nouri starts. Surely one of those two have got to. The Well Food Bank says Shiv has hit £7,000. Check out Kim Smith on Twitter. Will do now. I think that's. Yeah, I've just seen that now. Kim Smith. I'll retweet that now. Very, very good. I think that, I mean, it speaks volumes that even Mike Ashley has agreed that 15 quid is too much. And I imagine the clubs must be benefiting in some way. I haven't read too much about it, to be honest. I've been too engrossed in the US election at the moment, but I don't want to talk about that on here. But yeah, if Mike Ashley is even saying that it's bad, then it has to be the worst thing ever. So yes, it's going to be an interesting game today. There's obviously been huge battles in the past between Palace and Wolves back in the playoff days in the late 90s. Anybody on the chat remember those days? I was slightly too young for me. BT and or Sky don't really need the money. Well, yeah, I do agree. But to play devil's advocate, they have got to employ people. I imagine they've had to pay some kind of license or some kind of rights to be able to broadcast these extra games in some way. I don't know whether that is the case or not. It could be. And they have to sort of fund that in some way. And I know that with boxing games, they seem to have standardised prices. I could be wrong with that, but they always seem to be around about the £15 mark. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. But yeah, what I've noticed as well recently, I don't know if anybody else watching agrees, but the standard of the coverage is so poor. From all of the broadcasters. There isn't a single broadcaster who I watch and I think they've done a great job. I think the commentary is the worst that it's ever been in any sport ever. I used to think that like Ian Botham and the cricket was terrible because he would just repeat what other pundits said. But at least he was talking about the game that was going on. Whereas you've got Martin Tyler and Jamie Carragher, they are the two worst. They're the absolute worst. They talk constantly over the football. They don't care what's going on. And they just talk about old games. They talk about times that they bumped into each other or whatever, or what happened earlier in the week. It's awful. Absolutely awful. So, personally, I got so annoyed in the game. I can't remember when it was. When was the last Wolves game? Sunday? Was it Sunday afternoon? I can't remember, but it was so bad that I looked up starting an internet radio station and doing my own commentary over the games. But I don't think that's legal, is it? But I suppose it's only what Harry Mansell and Dazzling Dave do with their watch-alongs. So I don't know how they quite get around that, but perhaps I'll do something similar. I can't do it. People are not interested in what I've got to say while the match is going on. I'm not interested in the matches really when it's going on. And I can't go on my phone, can I? If I'm live streaming. It should be free coverage, says Jason. The problem with that is then, well, we haven't got a God-given right to watching football, and we wouldn't have a free season ticket, would we? Had we have been able to go to the games this season, we would have been paying for it. I understand your point. I understand that it's, to raise morale amongst people, that it should be more easily accessible. But there is far more football on now than there is usually. Lots and lots of people are, lots of channels and stuff are putting them on more frequently, which is brilliant. The BBC had a couple of games as well, but their coverage was even worse than Sky and BT's, wasn't it? So, yeah, I don't think we can expect free coverage. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. Mike Evans, I need to head off. Look forward to more streams. Yeah, before every game, in some kind of format. But if you are watching, drop a like on the stream. If you are enjoying, tell a friend, and let's build up the numbers. Hang on, my Amazon parcel's 2 stops away, so if I have to leave any second, it's because there'll be a knock at the door for my Amazon parcel. That's why I watch it on a stream, because you can't understand the thing they say. Yeah, one of the best games in terms of commentary that I've watched in the last couple of years was when we played Arsenal. It must have been last season, about a year ago. And my grandparents came round and my dad came round, and I got it on a stream. And it was a Chinese commentary, and it was so good because you just watch the game. You couldn't hear what was going on. The commentators, they may have been talking nonsense, but it seems as if the foreign commentators, they only have one person in the box commentating, so they haven't got anybody to just sit and chat to. They literally tell you who's got the ball and what's happening. You don't need reminiscing about old games or whatever. It's so frustrating. I hate Martin Tyler. Shiv has just said as well, apparently when you buy Box Office, there isn't even a studio. It's just game and commentary. Nothing during halftime, nothing post-match. Doesn't surprise me. But surely there's going to be some kind of rethink about how all these smaller games, because that's what it's been. It's been the games where not many people are interested. I think there's something like 5 Crystal Palace games that are included in this little section of Box Office games, which is, it's terrible. I feel really sorry for the Palace fans if that is the case. I think it was just rumours on Twitter that like somebody said that for the next 5 games it's going to cost them £75 to watch, and you've got to be proper hardcore fans to be actually paying for it, haven't you? Stick with Harry all the time, says Higo Bear. During the last game, I flicked between Dazzling Dave and Harry Mansell for a couple of minutes while the game was on, but I couldn't stick and watch either of them, and not because of what they were doing, but just because I was watching the match. I don't know how they do it, to be honest. I'd love to talk to them about it, because Dazzling Dave did ask me to come on and do be a halftime guest or something on his channel, but I said to him, I'm not coming on to be a halftime guest, because there'll be literally nothing to talk about at halftime. It'll be 0-0, and I can tell you now, what would have happened is Wolves would have kept a bit of possession, and that'll be it. Cheers, see you, Dave. So that's why I'm not doing that. So there's lots and lots of people tweeting all about the Well charity in Wolverhampton Food Bank. I haven't actually donated yet, but I will before kick-off. I think probably is the best thing to do. Shiv says, I think if we attack and they defend, similar to Newcastle game, we should be able to get through and score. I see Newcastle as a better defensive unit than Palace. I don't even know who Palace have got at the moment. They still got Neil Shipperley. Let's have a look. When's the team going to come out? In about half an hour or so. She's been optimistic. So, what was their last game? They beat Fulham. That means nothing, doesn't it? They still got Kevin McDonald. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so, I mean, if Wolves win today, again, it's been a very, very positive start to the season. I was listening to the 77 Club the other day, and they were saying that had Wolves have beaten Newcastle or hung on against Newcastle and then gone on to beat Palace today, they'd be top of the league. Can you imagine that coming into November? Teams are out at 7, kickoffs at 8. I think you're probably right there, Shiv. I'm just looking for their team. They played their last game. So they beat Fulham 1-1 against this Will Martin. Nice and optimistic. If anybody saw my little video on Twitter of the cat predicting the score, the cat predicted a draw. Win, lose or draw, and he went for a draw. So, yes, unfortunate. They've still got Zaha, but he's been hopeless, hasn't he, since he never got sold. So, let's have a look at. So, Palace's team. Wilfried Zaha, Riedvold, Andros Townsend, he'll probably score because he's hopeless. Eze, Koyate, Mitchell, Batshuayi, he's there now, is he? Schlupp, Scott Dan. Do you remember Scott Dan and Roger Johnson when they played together for Birmingham? And everyone was like, oh my God, they're amazing. They should both be the England centre-backs. They're amazing. And then when Roger Johnson came to us, it was, they're only good as a pair. Turns out that Scott Dan is actually a decent defender and Roger Johnson is just a pile of horse manure. Nathaniel Klein, Miljelovic, Van Aanholt and Sacco. They are a very defensive team, aren't they, really? But Batshuayi, he's going to go to the Albion, wasn't he, at some point in the summer? But he obviously come to his senses. Higo Bear, I pay £6 a month for Now TV and get Sky Sports Premier League and Sky Sports. Only downside is you can't cast it to your TV, so you've got to have your phone 8 inches from your face. You can though, if you get an Amazon Fire Stick, I think you can get Now TV on that, can't you? So if you have a telly, I mean, Higo Bear, I'm assuming, well, perhaps you don't, and that's why you've got to watch it on your phone. Maybe, who knows? Let us know if you've got a telly, because £6 for it. I know that a friend of mine has to do that as well. He watches games. He doesn't pay for them though. He watches them on his phone, an inch away from his face, and he'll be complaining about short-sightedness very, very soon. Yeah, so Crystal Palace are doing quite well as well. They've had a decent start to the season. They won't go top if they win, will they? They'd have to win 8-0, 9-0 to go top of the table. So I don't think that's going to happen, he says, before Wolves lose 9-0. It's cheaper on your phone, something like a tenner for the Daily Sports Pass on TV. Thank you, Shiv. This is great public service announcements on here. People come with their problems, and then other people will answer them through the medium of me. That's great. Man United have been. I'm just looking at the league table. I've been so disinterested in the football since it's restarted in June that I haven't looked at any scores or anything for ages. If you'd have told me that Man City and Liverpool were the top two, I'd have gone, yeah, probably. Liverpool are second though. Just spotted that. But Man City down in 12th. It's quite unbelievable, really. Does anybody think that Man City's bubble has burst? Has Guardiola the fraud finally been found out? I think he's a huge fraud. I don't think that he's. I don't think Guardiola is a good manager at all. You look at the teams that he's had in the past, where he's been manager. He's had Barcelona with Messi, and the greatest team of all time, the greatest club team of all time. Then he's had Bayern Munich, Oh, excuse me. He's at Bayern Munich, where he failed with the best German team. If you don't win the Champions League with Bayern, then you're deemed a failure in my eyes. Anybody can win the league with Bayern. I could win the league with Bayern Munich in Germany, easy, no problem. And then I haven't already mentioned it. Here go. But we're talking about Guardiola in a minute. I'll come back to that point. Thank you very much. So Guardiola failed with Bayern Munich because he didn't win the Champions League. Won trophies, fine, but didn't win anything with Bayern, anything of note. And then he's gone to Man City, and he's won. I suppose the 2 times that he has won the league have been quite impressive in different ways. The fact that he's hello Harry. The fact that he's won 2 titles back to back, which no other manager's done for a long time, is good. But I don't think that the Premier League has been that good in the times that he has won it, albeit he's won it in a very, very impressive way. We're just talking about Guardiola here. If anybody else thinks he's a fraud, then pop it in the comments down below. He's been the manager at City now for 5 years, 2 titles. He won't win it this year. Let us know in the comments if you think Guardiola is a fraud. So Wolves played against Crystal Palace the other day, the under-23s, says Higo, and they lost 2-1 to Palace. I did see that. I didn't actually watch it. I know that it was free to season ticket holders on the Wolves thingy, Wolves TV, but I think at the time I can't remember what I was doing on Monday. I think it was on Monday afternoon, wasn't it? I can't remember what I was doing, but I didn't watch it. I did see Terry Taylor's free kick. Terry Taylor, fun fact, in 2017, when I went to watch Wolves under-23s against AFC Wolverhampton, he was in the team, and I did like a vlog. It was one of my only vlogs of an actual match. I think it's probably still on the channel somewhere. I filmed lots of the game, and then I did a little bit of a review afterwards. And I pointed out Terry Taylor and the other one who sounds like him, Taylor Perry. And I said those 2 are really, really good. I said Taylor. Oh, I've forgotten which one now. The one that I said Terry Taylor, the one who scored the free kick the other day. Anyway, I said, brilliant. He was amazing. He then sent me a DM that night saying, "Oh, I love the video. Thanks for the comments." And then we follow each other on Twitter now, or he did anyway until recently. And then I think I sent him another message, or when he played in the League Cup last season, or against Sheffield Wednesday the year before. I can't remember when he played, but I did send him a message saying, "Cheers, mate, well done." And then he sent me a little thumbs up back. Harry, early preview this, son. What are you predicting, Tom? Just joined. I'm predicting a draw. I think it's going to be 0-0. I think people are going to be so cross that they would have actually. Some people who paid 15 quid are going to be so cross for that. But yeah, imagine if you paid 15 quid for the game today. He got lucky with that Barcelona team. Absolutely. Again, I suppose he would have. The only thing he did with that Barcelona team was make them run and contribute that to their game. But players like Iniesta and Xavi didn't really need a lot of advice on how to play football, did they? Or Messi, or Puyol, or who else do they have? Abidal, Dani Alves. That team. Has there been a better club team in the history of football other than that? Well, when was that? 2011. That final in 2011 against Manchester United at Wembley is for me the best club team performance. That's what all football fans are hoping, is to get to that level of a club team, isn't it? I can see there's quite a few people in the stream. If you all just pop a little like on the stream for me, just so that other people can see it. Perhaps I don't know quite how it works. If you've just joined us as well, I'm expecting a little a delivery from Amazon. So if I do have to leave in a second, it's because my little fish tank magnet sponge will have arrived. Okay, so forgive me for that. What's this button do? Oh, I can put different. That's interesting. Oh, okay. I don't want to do that though. Oh God, I've done it. Oh no. Right then. I'm going to get the chat back on, but I'm messing about with. For some reason, I can see. Go away. There we go. Don't think Pep's a fraud. It's just cycles for me. After 3 years, football goes stale, and he's too stubborn to change it. Or his football goes stale. I was going to say, because I mentioned last year about Nuno, and that being his 3rd season at Wolves, and sort of thinking, oh, it's going to be difficult. Higo, thank you for watching. He's going off to heat his pizza before the game. Enjoy. Prediction 2-1. Hope you're right. Higo Bear. Higo Bear 68. Thank you for watching. Dean Saunders would have won stuff with that Barcelona team. That team was so good that they didn't need a manager at all, really. They could have just sort of turned up amongst themselves and won the Champions League. I think they were that good. Wolves in the 1950s, says Shiv. It was always better in the 50s, wasn't it? Always better in the 50s. Pop a little like as well, please, in the stream if you're enjoying, or just do it to help me, please. Goodness. What do people think as well of that little video I did on Twitter the other day? It upset one person. Other people seem to quite enjoy it a little bit. They were sort of saying, oh, that's like me, or that's like my friend. I'll definitely be doing some more of them at some point when I can be bothered. But I've just spent all evening from about 4 o'clock until now. I've spent editing some really old versions of Shows Your Kit. I've just uploaded Sam Cook's and Matt Cooper's. These were recorded back in May, and I haven't got around to editing them, to putting them up. It just shows how little I cared about my YouTube for quite a long time. Oh gosh, and now I've got Dazzling Dave's ready to go. You can listen to them. They're all on Spotify or on iTunes or Acast, wherever you get your podcasts from. But you can you'll be able to watch them soon. You'll be able to watch them soon, and hopefully you will enjoy them. I've really enjoyed making them. I've now emailed a number of people regarding a 3rd series. Although there was only really how many episodes were in the second? There was 3 episodes in the 2nd series, so I'm not going to call it a 2nd series. We're just going to carry on from where we left off. And I've got quite a high-profile guest lined up. I need to arrange a date, but a high-profile guest lined up. Put it in the comments. Can you try and guess who the high-profile guest is? Hello, Finlay Crow. Is this game pay-per-view? It is, but I'm sure that people like... I know Harry Mansell's not doing a watch-along, because if you listen to the 77 Club, he said his dad's coming, they've gone halves. So they're... hopefully he has a nice night with his dad there. Right, but yeah, pop in the comments, who do you think the high-profile guest is for Show Us Your Kit Series 3 or episode 18, whichever we're on. If you haven't already, there's a few that you should really go and check out. Manny Sings is really good. I think this is episode 5. Benjamin Bloom, who's an Ipswich fan, his is really good. Liam Gregory, friend of mine, who's a Leeds fan, talking about football in the 1970s. That's a really good one as well. The thing is, if I don't say everybody's, then they'll all get upset if I don't say theirs. Do you know what I mean? So, Jason Guy, off of Wolf Whistle podcast, he was the last one that I did. So if you go and listen to his, he's really good. Then there's one with a Cardiff fan and one with a Fulham fan. They're okay, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all of the 92 Football League clubs. Laptop plugged into the telly, ready to stream. Finners. Is the high-profile guest Dazzling Dave's Ducks? You've nailed it, Shim. Oh, man. No. It's not Dazzling Dave's Ducks. In fact, I think I interviewed him just before he released his merchandise range, which is unfortunate. Really, he could have plugged that, couldn't he, on the podcast? Matt Murray says, Finley, I would love Matt Murray to come onto the podcast. I think what I need to do is start being a little bit bolder, start approaching people on Twitter and saying, fancy coming on the podcast? We'll have to bother them. No, it's not a former footballer. It's not a former footballer at all. And they're not that high profile, to be honest. Unless they're watching, they're very high profile, yes. You won't guess anyway, so there's no point guessing. Just put the finishing touches to Dazzling Dave's Show She Kit podcast, which you'll be able to see in mid-November. I'm just getting ahead of the curve. Second wave's coming, isn't it? So we're all going to be locked inside again. I'll be doing podcasts, let us know tomorrow while the Adama start, maybe Silver getting on late on. Well, we're still awaiting team news at the minute, but we will, as soon as we get it, we'll talk about it together. But I think I'll probably be going at about 7, to be honest. I've got to put some food in the oven. Can't be sitting here starving watching the game, do you know what I mean? Dream big, mate. Your content and views is good. Thank you, Finley. I don't know about the content being good, or the view. The content might be okay. I enjoy, particularly the podcasts at the minute. The one I do with Billy, I'm really enjoying, and the Show She Kit one, I think are really good. The views though are not what they used to be. I don't know whether that's because I don't bother doing the tags or the I don't play the algorithm game, see, but I don't want to spend lots of time talking about that. All the stuff is there if you want to find it. You know where it goes. Mikey Burrows, that'd be a good one. I've approached him before. When I used to live in Bridgend, I used to listen to the games on the radio. I used to pay for that. What did it used to be called? I can't remember. But I used to pay. It was really expensive, and this was when we were really bad as well. It was that Paul Lambert season, and the season. So the last Kenny Jackett season, and then the Zenga Lambert season. I used to pay monthly. It was like, I can't remember. It was £3 a month, or it was more than that, probably £6 a month or something, to be able to listen to the games live. I'm sure there's people who still do that now, but I think that it must be much better now. Listening to Finley. I meant your views on the game and Wolves, etc. Yes, okay, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you think my views are good, but the views in terms of YouTube are not good. Yes, I know what you mean. So I used to pay to watch Mikey Burrows live on the radio, and I used to sit there and think. I can't remember what the point I was talking on here now was. What was I can't remember what I was saying. I was talking about Mikey Burrows. So getting Mikey Burrows on the podcast. So Mikey Burrows, I used to send a message in every week. I used to live in a little village called Kenfig Hill, and I used to say, listening with the members of the Kenfig Hill Wolves supporters group, and that would mean me in my spare room by myself with a laptop, just sat like this with a cup of tea listening to the game. And I used to have a sticker for my car as well that said Kenfig Hill Supporters Club. The Kenfig Hill Wolves Supporters Club, which is quite funny. I remember him. It was a pre-season game, 2017. It was one of the ones in England as well. And I sent him a message saying, loving the commentary, Mikey. Would you like to come on to my YouTube channel? And he didn't say no. But I said something like, we can negotiate a fee. I think the fee was a Twix bar. So it isn't Mikey Burrows though, but I have asked him before if anybody has any contact details for Mikey Burrows. I'll happily talk to him. He'd be a good guest, wouldn't he, on Show She Kit? I know that he's got. When he was doing those quizzes on the Wolves Facebook, he had quite a few different Wolves shirts, match worn shirts. Talking of match worn shirts, I have asked Steve Plant before, but he's never got back to me. I've asked him a couple of times for various different things, but he's just ignored me. Not even a polite decline. Um, yeah, but I would happily interview him. I don't think that old Petalengro. Uh, I have met him once before. I don't think he would be doing my podcast, but anyway. Who remembers Dougie Freeman breaking our hearts for Palace back in the day in the playoffs? I don't remember that. I want to say, was it 96? It must have been 96 because I can see it in the wolf shirt with the lot of little wolves heads on it. I want to say it's 96, maybe 97 perhaps. But I can see in my head, I can see the pictures in my head. Oh, 97 says Will Martin. So, yes, no, I can't remember sadly. If you listen to the game on the app, it always buffers really badly. Yeah. It always used to be pretty good. All right, okay, 1997 says don't be scared, homie. I'm not scared, homie. Finley Crow, 3-1 for me tonight to Wolves. Maybe stretched in the 3 goals, but don't get all the negativity pre-match from all the majority on Twitter. A lot writing us off before most games this season. Do you know what I've done on Twitter? So I don't know if any of you saw, but a couple of weeks ago I said, right, that's it. I've had enough of watching the Wolves. So sorry, not watching the Wolves. I've had enough of Twitter. So I deleted it for about a month or so, and then I went back onto it and I just unfollowed everybody. I think I follow now about 100, maybe nearly 200 people. But before, I was following like nearly 1,000 people. And I just thought, this is why I hate it. It's because I've got everybody's conflicting opinions all the time. And I actually don't care about that many people's opinions, really. So I unfollowed them all. And now it's better. It's much better experience. So unfollow everybody apart from me. Jillington Sparks says, what app can I watch the match on? I don't know many apps, and I don't want to broadcast openly where I'm going to watch the match, but yes, Will Martin, you know a good website. There we go, Brumwolf. You see, this is the kind of community spirit that I want. I want people to just put it in the chat quietly, so I don't get in trouble for sharing it. John the Wolf still repping Wolves on Twitter. Do you reckon I get John the Wolf on the podcast? That'd be good, wouldn't it? Also, very sad news about Nobby Styles today, passing away. There's been quite a lot of the 66 squad passing away in the last 18 months or so. Jack Charlton, of course, went in the summer, and there was a couple of others as well before. John the Wolf's got a LinkedIn. That's good. I might send him a message on here. Imagine getting John DeWolf on the podcast. It's slightly before my time. Let's send him a message. I need premium. Let's see if he'll connect with me. I can add a note. Well. Only 4 left from 66, says Will. Of course, Ron Flowers is a member of the 1966 squad. He got given his medal about 10 years ago now. Was it 2006, 2007 or something like that? He got his medal. I remember he came on the pitch to receive his medal. I remember that very clearly. And he was there at the match the other night. They showed him in the box. Now, somebody told me. Who should have told me? Robbie, my friend Robbie, who sometimes watches this stream. Say sometimes, I've done this once before. He was watching. He told me that apparently the Wolves have opened up some hospitality sections. Can anybody tell me if that's true? Chris Kamara. If I got Chris Kamara, come on now. How am I going to get somebody like Chris Kamara? Ron Flowers Sports Shops in Wolves. Him and Derek Mountfield. Centre back pairing. Chris. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, it'd be. I'm sure Ron Flowers is still there in town, isn't he? Is he? Used to be like. Oh God, I haven't been down that bit of town for years and years and years. Sorry, I'm just inviting John DeWolf onto my podcast. I'll let you know if he says yes. Oh, I've only got. Dreaming is for free. Exactly, Shiv. Hi, John DeWolf. Hi, John. I'm a Wolves podcaster, and I'm wondering if you'd be interested in appearing on an episode of my Show Us Your Kit. Dan Evans, is this a real story? My friend works at Wolves on March days. I imagine he means match. We'll let him off. And she said that she sees Nuno sneaking into the toilets on the lower Billy right to have a vape. Has anybody else seen Nuno having a cheeky little vape? What a story. What a scoop, Dan. Hopefully that's true. Get Tony Daly on the podcast, a really humble guy. I sat next to Tony Daly, or not, like across an aisle at the what's the Wolves podcast called? The old, what's it called? The Wolves, the one that Mikey Burrows and Chris Iwaluma does that I stopped listening to because Iwaluma just did my head in. I can't remember. What's it called? Old Gold Club, of course it is. Sorry, I'm just sending a message to John DeWolf here. Old Gold Club, yeah, can't back it up. But Nuno's meant to be an avid smoker, ain't he? I've heard a few stories of him loving what's his name? The Chelsea manager from last year, or whatever it was, 2 seasons ago. That one. They've really lit it up in his office after the game, apparently. What was his name? I don't know why I'm being so blank tonight. He went round the back of the bus before the players came out at Brighton away and had a mini cigar after the game. Maurizio Sarri. Right, well, I've sent a message to John DeWolf, and we'll see if that comes back. I wonder if Tony Daly on here. No. I think maybe this is the answer. Maybe sorting out my LinkedIn is the answer. I've had loads of people comment on LinkedIn recently asking me for opinions on stuff, or to be like, I don't know, to appear on videos and stuff. But I've just said no. I've said no. Just for anybody who's been here since the beginning of the stream, I'm just checking up on my Amazon order. It said it was 2 stops away, and that was quite some time ago. They're still 2 stops away, which is a little bit of a concern, because you should have smoked if you're a professional footballer. Yeah, stress, says Dan Evans. What's Nuno got to be stressed about? I don't think there's any coincidence really that Wolves have been a little bit hit and miss since I've stopped doing the podcast regularly. I think when I was at my peak, I was, you know, Wolves were also at their peak. I'll never forget um, when Nuno recognised me. I've told that story's on the channel before. I've told it a couple of times where Nuno spotted me and called me a journalist, which was amazing. But then the Chelsea game, or before the Chelsea game that we won, that turned the season around really in 2018. I made a video saying Wolves have got to play. We lost to Cardiff, and I said we've got to play three midfielders. For goodness sake, play three midfielders. We didn't quite play three midfield. I said, the difference was I said take Cody out of the back and put him further up the pitch, or take Cody out and put Dendoncker in there. Where is Dendoncker? What does he even do? In that game then against Chelsea, we saw three midfielders, but it was Gibbs White that came into midfield, and then we won. So that 3 points was because of all the Rousey-gins, Rousey-Doodos. You should check out the Under the Cosh on YouTube. Yeah, I've seen them. That's what's his name? Not Derek Parkin. John Parkin, who used to play for Preston and all sorts of teams. There's a big lump. Yeah, but he's really good. That's a really good podcast. I've only listened to it a couple of times, but it's a very, very good, proper football podcast. So thanks, Will. Yeah. Other people who haven't checked that out, do listen to Under the Cosh podcasts. I don't want it to just be Wolves people though, and I don't want to pay for people to come on either. So I know there are websites where you can get people to come and do stuff for you, but I don't have any intention of paying. But yeah, John the Wolf would be a good one. Where's my little list? My dad has said Robert Plant as well. He sent me an email address for his agent. That would be. Can you imagine getting Robert Plant on my YouTube channel? That'd be insane. I very much doubt that would happen. Right, some actual talk about the game then. Vitinha played the other night against Palace for the under-23s. He's a really strange one. Again, funny story. I saw Vitinha a couple of weeks ago at the Mount Hotel wearing a mask, and we were socially distanced. I was at the Mount Hotel with my old work for a dinner, and as we were leaving, he came in, and I thought, who's this little chap here? He's tiny. He's a tiny little bloke, old Vitinha. So a tiny little chap. His mask was right up to here, and I was looking at him thinking, I know who that is. I know, I've seen that face before. I've seen that hair and those eyes somewhere. Where is it? Who's that? And it happened to be Vitinha. But I had to leave. I didn't want to give him COVID. I mean, I work in Smethwick, so I'm riddled with it. So, yeah, and then so that's where he's staying, Vitinha, or he was in September anyway, and so is Fabio Silva, and so was Marçal. I don't know if they're still there, but I just imagined, because Marçal's nearly 30s, he's certainly much older than Vitinha and Fabio Silva, so I imagine like they were all sharing a room, the same room, and Vitinha and Fabio Silva were like up all night playing FIFA and drinking and stuff and crazy. But then Marçal was just like, "Oh, go to bed. Leave me alone, please." I thought that was quite a funny little image that I had in my head. On YouTube stuff, he looks unreal. I imagine you're talking there about Vitinha. Vitinha looks very, very good. But anybody can look good on little videos. I did find it interesting. I think somebody was at TikTok, but somebody posted onto Twitter from Jota, and the goals that he scored for Liverpool so far have all been these little scrappy little tap-ins and stuff, and it's been like, oh god, all right, he's won them a couple of games, hasn't he, so far? But because there's no crowd, or he's not scoring goals like we saw him score, where he's beating a couple of players and smashing it past the keeper, like the Villa goal in the Championship, the United goal in the both in the Premier League and in the FA Cup in those couple of weeks. He's I don't know if he's going to be appreciated, old Diego Joppa. I don't know if he's going to be appreciated like we appreciate him. Although I'm quite pleased that he's gone, because I think he £40 million for Joppa. I think is a steal. I think we've had their pants down, to be honest. I don't think Jota was that good. Lots of people slagging me off in the comments. Convinced that Vitinha is the Iberian Grealish. Marcel, my cousin's husband, says how lucky we were to get him. Would like to see Neves shoot more. Will, I was thinking this the other day in the Newcastle game, that if there was a crowd at the Molineux, then Neves would be shooting every time he gets the ball within 30 yards of the goal. But because he... Oh, sorry, hang on. Oh, just a couple of trick-or-treaters that I had to punch in the face. Oh. I was in the middle of talking then, wasn't I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about Neves. Oh God, I'm out of breath. Hasn't run up into the stairs. Yeah, so Neves he'd be shooting a lot more if there was a crowd in there screaming at him to shoot. So that's my conspiracy, is that he's just not doing it. Jota playing more central for Liverpool. I think he's sort of... It's just that the way that Liverpool play, those front three are expected to be able to play all three roles, and I think Jota can do that. I think he's probably stronger on his left than he is on his right, but I think he can strike it with his right as well. So yeah, but yeah, my boy Shiv, what's he sent me? Oh dear, Marcel's not playing tonight because of a small physical problem. I will not play tonight, but I hope to be back as soon as possible. Por causa de un pequeño problema físico, no iré jugar esa noche, mas espero estar de volta o más breve. You're welcome. Thanks, Shiv. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, so no Marcel. Does that mean that we're going to have 8 Nori then at left back, or are we going to see Sace again? Well, Sace is trending on Twitter, so I imagine it's going to be Sace again. Oh God. Oh bloody hell. Right. Saying, felt like watching my ex with. I take it that's about Jota. I hate when Jota. I hate Liverpool and hated when he scores that winner the other night. Same, it felt like watching my ex going with another plug. Oh, yeah, Shiv, I agree. I hope he means 8 Nori. I'd just like to see him. I've never seen him. I know that he's very, very highly rated. And does anybody else think that Vinagre wasn't really given a chance? I think Wolves should have been a little bit more patient with him. I didn't expect to see him go this season. I didn't expect to see him playing left back either. I thought that he would probably morph into sort of a more attacking player, more of a winger. But I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I've had a lot of high hopes for Vinagre. They didn't quite materialise. The same can be said now about this Nouri. PSG were after him, all sorts, but no, nothing at all. We haven't seen him yet. The same can be said again about Vitinha though, and Fabio Silva as well. Huge expectation on him. I think it's probably quite a good thing that we haven't seen a lot of him just yet. I think there's so much hype about the signing of him for the price. That it would actually be better if we saw less of him now, let him settle in, let him understand how Wolves play before seeing, long periods of him him playing. Yes, agree, all top sides wanted him, was very lucky to get him. Hate Vinagre going, we will regret it. I'm not sure though, because of him now going to Olympiacos, not a top European team. It's very much up to him now to put the effort in to develop himself. If he does, I'm very sorry. The cat isn't very well at the minute. He's had a bit of a scrap, right? So I've got to keep my ear out because he hasn't been to the toilet all day. I've had to keep him in. I've had to stay in with the cat as well. I went to the pub at lunchtime, but he hasn't gone to the toilet. I think he's just having a little something down there, or he's eating something, or he's trying to get out. Either way, we'll find out in a minute. That sounded like he went to the toilet. It sounded like something being scratched. Good. Okay. What are we talking about? The team news not out yet. Is it going to be at 7 o'clock? New and improved. Doc and Jota have gone. Oh, so I can't tell the difference. So Nathan Judah on Twitter has just put up a picture of the South Bank, and I thought this, in fact, the last game. There's a huge one, isn't there, with Doherty and Jota on those things there at the South Bank, but they have been removed now. So I can see. So Podence is on one of. I think Podence was on it before, wasn't he? I think. I can't quite make it out. So Johnny is coming to the one on the right hand side, so to the right of SL4. So you've got Neves, Moutinho, and Johnny on that one. Then on the one to the left of that, you've got Jimenez, Bolly, and Sace. Then to the one on the left of that, so to the left of SL3, you've got Patricio, Traore, and Podence. And then the last one, so what would be SL2, you've got Nuno, Cody, and I can't make out who that is at the bottom. Can anybody help me with that one if they've got a better image than Nathan Judah's? But yeah, I had to think about that. I thought it would be a little bit off-putting perhaps for some of the players, perhaps, who have been at the team for a long time and thought, oh, maybe I should leave as well. Or, oh, isn't Doherty getting 3 times what he got paid at Wolves? Isn't that interesting? Also, I said it at the time, £15 million for Doherty. People were going, oh, we should have held on for more. He isn't that good. As soon as we heard that Moutinho was trying to put him, Mourinho was trying to put him into a back 4, I think we all knew what was going to happen next, didn't we? Right, but it's coming up to an hour now. I've been on the stream. I do want to hang on to see the team released, but I didn't want to do more than an hour, to be honest. So I'm going to call it a day there. Thank you very much to everybody who's watched. Drop a like on the stream as well if you haven't already. If you're watching this after, I don't know why you would choose to watch this after the game or later on, but feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Again, I don't know how you would have come across this if you're not already subscribed, but please do. I'll probably do a video after the game. It's probably going to be tomorrow morning, to be honest, before I go to football, 5-a-side in the morning. So keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, look after yourselves. Enjoy the game. give some money to a food bank instead of watching the match. Thank you for watching. Bye, 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 bye.